And now I'm proud to introduce this evening's performers, the Ancient Mariners. The Ancient Mariners will be playing lively early jazz and Tin Pan Alley hits from 1900 to the Roaring '20s. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was a song called Once in a While, recorded in 1927 by Louis Armstrong, right at the peak of the Roaring '20s jazz age. We're the Ancient Mariners and are so happy to be back in Georgetown again. We wish to congratulate you for the 166th anniversary of your independence from the town of Rowley. Last year it was the 165th. goes up once per year. We also want to congratulate the committee for the summer concert series for taking a dismal weather forecast and turning it into this beautiful evening. We play what's called traditional jazz, or sometimes called Dixieland jazz, and some of you may be a little bit confused as to just what that is. There's all kinds of jazz. And so let me just give you a very short explanation. If you were a teenager in 1924, it's the kind of music your parents would not allow you to go out and listen to. If you were a teenager in 2004, it's the kind of music that your grandparents would be performing. Back in the 1920s, if you wanted, you could have a wide choice of dances to try out, like the foxtrot, the turkey trot, the ball and the jack, the alligator crawl. But probably your favorite would be the Charleston. If there's any Charleston dancers, there's plenty of grass space here, so feel free to join. was the Charleston, composed by James P. Johnson. Jazz started not in Chicago, but in New Orleans. And if you read the biographies of some of the earlier New Orleans players, it's interesting that many of them were jazz musicians during the week, but played the piano or the choir in church on Sundays, were members of the choir, active churchgoers. And it's not a surprise that blues and jazz and spirituals all had common roots and great musical similarities. This fortunately has been preserved as a result of the formation in 1961 of the Preservation Hall Jazz Band that brought a lot of the early New Orleans players out of retirement and made some wonderful recordings. The one that's inspired the present one is the song is Eye is on the Sparrow, and it includes a vocal duet by Sing Miller, the piano player at the Preservation Hall, and Narvin Kimball, the banjo player. So right now we're going to have Sing Nichols over here and Narvin Ruggles. That's hard to say. We'll be doing the vocals on His Eye is on the Sparrow.
I sing because I'm happy. Yes, I sing because I'm free. Yes, his eyes on the sparrow, but I know he watches me. Yes, in the morning I sing because I'm happy. Oh, yes, I sing because I'm free. Yes, his eye is on the
Sparrow, Norm Nichols, Tom Ruggles on vocals. It's hard to imagine what things were like before there were recordings, no radio, no television, no portable disc players. How did you hear music? Well, of course, there was written music around for centuries, but in jazz in particular, this was not written, and so if you didn't live in New Orleans, you never heard jazz. And it turns out on February 26, 1917, a band from New Orleans, the original Dixieland Jazz Band, traveled to New York City to the studios of RCA Victor and recorded a couple of songs. That was the first recording ever of jazz, and instantly jazz became popular all over the world, in fact. Two of the members of the original Dixieland Jazz Band composed a song with a delicious title called Clarinet Marmalade. And this is going to feature Mort Speck, our clarinetist, and we're going to play it for you now. Now, if you listen closely, you might think for a while, where's Mort? But don't worry, he's learning the song. Colleen, are you here? Please welcome our vocalist Colleen Honohan to the bandstand. Colleen is on loan from Down Dog, a band that is possibly known to you in these parts. We're going to play a song called Big Butter and Egg Man. That requires some explanation. There's a very common theme in folk and popular music about the nice, young but poor woman who's working long hours to try to make a living and dreams about marrying a rich man. And if it was said in the present time, I guess she would be looking in the office buildings of some large .com company. But in the 1920s, when this was written, the rich guys were dairy farmers that brought their produce into the markets in Chicago. Now, I guess if you look at the stock market, maybe dairy farmers are not such a bad idea, and maybe there's some here. So, Big Butter and Egg Man.
want a big butter and egg man, a big butter and egg man from out west. I'm getting tired of working all day. I want somebody who wants me to play. Pretty clothes have never been mine, but if my dreams come true, the sun's gonna shine. So I want a big butter and egg man. Some big butter and egg man want me.
She'll be back, don't worry. We're now going to do a song made famous by the cornet player Bix Beiderbecke, who had a tragically short career but left us with a bunch of recordings that had a major influence on the way traditional jazz came out. It's called When My Best Gal Turned Me Down. It's somewhat on the same theme, except for some inexplicable reason, it's a very happy song. Since My Best Gal Turned Me Down. We're going to ask Colleen to come back up, and we're going to talk about another topic of possible marital disputes. This song has been characterized as one representing unrequited love. The woman singing the song, gentleman friend has left her, but she still loves him. And so this is a sad song. It's called I'm Alone Because I Love You. And Colleen is going to be joined in the second vocal by Tom Ruggles to share in her misery.
Yesterday's sunshine has turned into rain. I'm alone because I love you. I love you with all my heart.
Thank you, Colleen and Tom. You'll notice during most of the songs that we've been playing that in different choruses, individual musicians take a solo backed up by the rhythm section of the band, and then do a chorus, and then someone else takes a solo. This was not a characteristic of the original style of New Orleans players playing, where pretty much people played all the time, but with an occasional short break, or perhaps took a lead. Person who is credited with really making solos happen was Louis Armstrong. And in one of his recordings, recorded in the 1920s, it's called Dippermouth Blues. After a while, Louis Armstrong takes a solo, and at the end of one chorus, he's really rolling, and so he takes another solo, and then at the end of that chorus, he's really, really rolling, and he takes another solo. At that point, another member of the band was so impressed with his solo playing that he couldn't help calling out, "Oh, play that thing," and therefore ruined the recording. But this was, of course, before the days of digital editing, so the record came out that way. And as a result, instead of it being a mistake, it's just about every Dixieland band that tries to recreate Dippermouth Blues has to shout out, "Oh, play that thing," at some point in the performance. So we're going to do the same thing. But as you probably gathered, we're a band of introverts, and we couldn't get anybody to agree just to shout out, "Oh, play that thing," or even to get the whole band to do it together. So we would like you all to do it. So I hope you're paying attention, because you're going to be on the spot to shout out, "Oh, play that thing." And it's going to occur twice in the piece. Once in the middle after the third cornet solo, and once at the end. Now, this is music, so you have to count. "Oh" occurs on the fourth beat of a measure. Are you listening? "Play that thing" occurs at beats 1, 2, and 3 of the next measure. Beat 4 is a rest. So it's 1, 2, 3, "Oh, play that thing," rest. But you don't say rest. The rest means, musically, rest. Okay, so let's all try it. 1, 2, 3, "Oh, play that thing," rest. One more time. 1, 2, 3, "Oh, play that thing." Okay, rest. I heard a rest. Okay, now the question is, where in the song do you play it? Well, we've got a visual aid for you over here. Where's your sign?
Hello.
It's upside down. "Oh, play that thing." Okay, now it's going to occur both in the middle of the song, but that's too hard to rehearse. It's also going to occur at the end of the song, and that we are going to rehearse. So we're going to play what's called a tag right after Bob Cronin plays a little drum solo. There's going to be a very short tag, and we'll count it out for you as to when you say, "Oh, play that thing." Okay, we're going to do it. Rest. Okay, now we're going to do the whole thing. Now the one in the middle, you just watch Bob McGinnis do his three cornet solos, and when it gets towards the end of that, watch Tom Ruggles, and the sign is going to go up, count 1, 2, 3, and then after that, at the very end, you'll hear this tag that we've just rehearsed. So it's going to be perfect. was great. Laurie is on her way up to the stage. The next song is actually about a canoe where the propulsion systems malfunction. It's called Paddling Madeline Home, and the story is a young man is in his canoe with his lady friend Madeline, and he's unfortunately more interested in Madeline than paddling, and as a result the canoe isn't getting home very quickly, and it's getting dark, and Madeline's father is on the shore shouting his displeasure. So this is sort of a little play that we're going to put on. The part of the canoeist is being played by our banjo player Tom Ruggles, and the part of Madeline, please welcome Laurie Carmichael, who is the leader of the great Squirrel Hill Old Time Band, a jazz band. She has consented to be Madeline, and the part of Madeline's father is played by a crashing A minor chord. Paddlin' Madeline Home.
I love a girl named Madeline, and I know she loves me too. For every night, when the moon is bright, she's out in my canoe. At midnight on the river, I hear her father call. But she don't care, and I don't care if we get back at all. For when I'm paddling Madeline home, yes, when I'm paddling Madeline home, first we drift with the tide, then we make for the shore, then I hug her and I kiss her and I paddle some more, and when I'm paddling Madeline home, until we find a spot when we're alone, oh, she never says no, so I kiss her and go. Paddling Madeline, sweet, sweet Madeline, paddling Madeline home.
Thank you, Laurie Carmichael, leader of the Squirrel Hill Old Time Band, doubling as Madeline for this evening. you want to make that? Okay. We have an announcement that there's a car parked in a fire lane, and Mort, it's your car. It's our clarinet player's car. Okay.
I parked next to you.
Oh, good. We have a volunteer.
It's the one in the fire lane.
This little incident was not rehearsed.
It was recorded.
It's being recorded.
That's serious. You'll make it truly unique.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're next going to do a song called Sugar Blues that features our cornet player, Bob McGinnis, who will show that you can do more than just bugle calls with the cornet. The cornet can play notes, it can sing, and it can talk. Sugar Blues. Sugar Blues, Bob McGinnis on cornet. We're going to close this first set with a song about the Big Dig, which was written in 1913, and I guess some of us think it's taken a long time to complete the Big Dig, but it actually, the one in Boston didn't start in 1913. The one this is referring to was actually finished in the early part of 1914, and it was called the Panama Canal. And the song we're going to play is called Panama. Lots of attention was being given to Central and South America at that time, and lots of popular music had a Latin type of tempo to it, and Panama is no exception. It actually starts out as a fairly stately march, typical Sousa type march, but gradually as it evolves, the Panama beat comes through, and so that by the time it gets to the end, it's definitely Panama. Panama, we're going to take a short break, and don't go away because we are going to be back. We have some CDs, I believe, over on the table. I think it's down over on our right. If anybody's interested, we have brochures about the band, and we'll see you shortly. Maybe I will actually announce the song first. Should we just start with got the tape rolling?
What?
Thank you. That was called Oriental Strut. It was composed by Johnny St. Cyr, 1926. St. Cyr was a banjo player, played with Louis Armstrong's bands of the time, the Hot Five and the Hot Six. We're going to play another song called Some of These Days. Colleen, are you around? There she comes. She alternates between being a torch singer and an Olympic track star, I think. There we go. That's okay. This was written in 1910 by Shelton Brooks, very, very talented composer and jazz band leader. And this song ended up being the theme song for Sophie Tucker, the great torch singer. So this is a we think distant relative of Sophie Tucker. Colleen O. Tucker here will be singing the vocals for some of these days. some of these days, is Laurie Carmichael returning to the bandstand. Colleen, you are called back by Captain Marilyn of the Ancient Mariners.
What a babe, huh?
That's great. An interesting fact is that of all the Dixieland bands that have been around forever, by far the nicest, kindest, most helpful and considerate member of each of those bands has always been the banjo player. And it's true. Every band, it's that way. Unfortunately, as a result of that, banjo players are the subject of cruel jokes called banjo jokes. And I won't tell any of them because they don't paint banjo players in a very good light. But now some are actually based on true stories or very nearly true. And this, I'm not sure I have the facts exactly right, but our banjo player, Tom Ruggles, just recently stopped into the Georgetown Savings Bank to deposit a check. Now, in fact, there's a coincidence there because I think the Georgetown Savings Bank is a major sponsor of these concerts. So this is we'll say thank you to them.
Thank you, George.
Well, he was about halfway through the transaction when he suddenly ran to the door of the bank. And then he realized that he might have scared somebody, so he stopped for a second and said, "I'm sorry, I have to leave. I forgot to lock my car, and my banjo's in the back seat." So he ran down Main Street as fast as he could, and finally, out of breath, he got to his car, and when he got there, there were 4 banjos in the back seat. So, Tom, what do you do with 4 banjos?
You pay Boogaloo's a strut.
Bogalusa Strut. Bogalusa is actually a city in Mississippi. And thank you, Lori, for joining the Ancient Mariners for this event. And also, if you will look to your right, for our appreciation for joining this group of banjo players. Thank you so much. Now, Tom Ruggles is about to assume his responsibilities as the band choir director, because I think it's time for you to do a little singing and exercising.
You folks have been having a lovely afternoon here with us and sitting doing absolutely nothing except clapping your hands. Now we want to see how your mouths work, and we're going to sing a song, all of us together, called My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. You all know that. You grew up with it, right? Here we go. My Bonnie lies over the ocean, the key of F. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Gotta hear a love song here. My Bonnie lies over the sea. Can't hear you. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Everybody, bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Your mouths work perfectly fine. Now let's see how your arms work. The way we're going to do it is we're going to sing the song again, and every time you do a word with a B, up go the arms. And every time you do another word with a B, down come the arms. Very simple. Even your children can do this. My Bonnie rise up, my Bonnie. You get the idea? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. They're down. Here we go. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. They're up, they're up. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. I'll give you another chance. Oh, blow ye winds over the ocean. Oh, blow your winds over the sea. Rest a little bit, coming up. Oh, blow ye winds over the ocean. And blow back my Bonnie to me. Here we go, second chance. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. They're up in the air, hoo-wee. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, very good.
Well, to let you get a rest, we're going to play a song. It was actually the earliest composition date of our program this evening, called Creole Bells. It was composed in 1900, and it's a ragtime cakewalk, and it's typical of the kind of music that would have been played at bandstand concerts around the turn of the century, the turn of the 19th, that is. It was evidently a favorite of John Philip Sousa's band, and so it's done in a traditional ragtime style, but by the time we get to the last chorus, we sort of turn it more into traditional jazz. Creole Bells, 1900. We're now going to play a blues from the great blues composer William C. Handy called the Yellow Dog Blues. And the yellow dog does not refer to a dog, it refers to the nickname of the Yazoo and Delta Railroad. That was a short railroad that joined the Southern Railroad in Yazoo City, Mississippi. I'm sure I don't need to tell you all these details, they're fresh in your mind, but anyway, the Yazoo and Delta Railroad had yellow railroad cars, and therefore thus the name. I always think that an old clunky steam engine and the blues are somehow related. A lot of music, of course, was written with railroad themes in mind, but also the rhythm just sounds the same. And this is no exception. We'll start out and try to envision this old steam engine trying to get going. And it's not going very fast, but after a little while, watch Bob Cronin, our train engineer, and he is going to make a few adjustments to the steam valves, and I think you will notice the difference. Yellow Dog Blues. Well, Engineer Cronin got it going. Yellow Dog Blues. We're going to play another song called You Can't Get Away From It. And little explanation about that. This was written in 1918 as a commentary on how syncopation suddenly became popular through the medium of jazz. You remember that 1917 was the date of the first recorded jazz record by the original Dixieland Jazz Band. And so suddenly jazz was becoming popular, and one of the major features of jazz was syncopation, namely that the melodic emphasis is on the offbeat rather than on the beat a lot of the time. And it turns out that people of all ages and walks of life were suddenly dancing and enjoying this new kind of music that just didn't exist before. So this is a vaudeville tune called You Can't Get Away From It. And in that style, we're going to do one more after this one before the raffle. Yeah. Okay. One of the elements of the vaudeville style was in fact some very clever lyrics, and this is going to be sung by Tom Ruggles. So listen, there's some rhymes such as great big politicians pal around with rag musicians, and then there's a religious aspect to this too. Even good old country preachers are engaging tango teachers. And then finally, soldier boys and men of letters, chorus girls and suffragetters. Remember, this was the time period when women were starting to mobilize to get the right to vote. So syncopation rules the nation. You can't get away from it.
On Sunday, same as Monday, you can't get away from it. shoulder shakers, and the men of letters, chorus girls and suffragetters, even waiters, no one ever escapes. You know, syncopation rules the nation. You can't get away from it, you can't get away from it. It causes agitation, you can't get away from it. No, at all you can't. Lawyers and physicians, even men of high positions, great big politicians, hang around with the rag musicians. They all buy it, don't deny it. You can't get away from it, you can't get away from it. On Sunday, same as Monday, you can't get away from it. That's so terrible. Even good old country preachers are engaging tango teachers. You can't get away from it, get away from it. You can't get away from it, get away from it. You can't get away from it at all.
We understand that there's a 50-foot-long snake been reported, a very friendly one, by the way, in the park. Is the snake tamer available?
Yep, we gotta make the raffle, and then we'll do it.
Who wants to announce the raffle? That's fine. Okay.
Let's have a nice hand for the Ancient Mariners. All right, we're going to do our 50-50 raffle. So get your red tickets out. And Haley's going to pick our winner. We collected $174. Going to give away 87. Now remember, you must be here to win. If you're not, we're going to roll these winnings over to next week's. And the number is, drum roll please, 065. 065. If you are the winner, please head over to our table here on the basketball court to win your money. Do we have a winner? Woohoo! All right, thank you very much. We're going to have a few more songs from the Ancient Mariners. Let's have a nice hand.
Okay, our next song is going to be Snake Rag, composed by King Oliver, famous New Orleans cornet player. Where's the snake? She's coming. There she is, there she is. Melinda Rhinelander from Georgetown has the snake under control.
Ready when you are.
Snake rag. Where is the snake driver? Here she comes. Melinda, up here. We have something for you.
My favorite snake.
It's just a closer walk with thee, and when the saints go marching in. so much. Thank you for the dance troupe that assembled out here. That was fabulous. Thank you so much.